Hi everybody, it's Anne from Anne's Stampin' Up. Quick simple set of cards today. Stampin' Up has a saying called avid, beginner and casual stamper, the ABCs of stamping. Avid, beginner and casual. An avid stamper is a person who has all the bells and whistles and all the stamp sets and everything like I do, so that you could make a card in a minute. You just pull stuff from shelves and you can do anything. A beginning stamper is somebody who is beginning on that path to having all the bells and whistles. Casual stamper, they don't have very many tools. They might have your basic card stocks, black cardstock, white stock, a black stamp, and that's about it. So that's the ABCs of stamping. So let me turn the camera down and you'll see. So this card here is the casual card. It's basically 4 1/4 by 11 folded in half, an image stamped on the front, and the images I used are from the Shaded Summer stamp set. And there's the happy birthday, there's the big flowers here in the corner. This I've used to fill in little bits around. That's all there is to that card. Basic stamping, stamped a sentiment, popped it on a piece of black cardstock, and that's it. So that's your casual card. This is your beginner card, and it's got a little more to it. You might have some designer series paper on hand, you might have some gems on hand. That's the only difference. That's the next step. So I used some champagne coloured gems. I stamped the card the same as this. If you look, you'll see, if you turn it, you'll see your stamps are the same. This one I made with a top fold. This one has a side fold. I put a piece of designer series paper on there and to mat the white piece of card. Okay, mounted the sentiment on black and white again, and put a few gems around just to give it a little bit of sparkle. I'm not sure you can see the gems too well. You can sort of see them there and you can see them here. But I put a gem of different sizes in the center of each of the flowers, you could see. So that's the beginner card. So here we have the supplies to make the avid card, and again it's just a piece of cardstock, and you can use it this way, you can use it this way, however you want to do it. I'm going to make it with a side fold and standing up this time. I have a piece of designer series paper which came from the hand penned, beautifully penned designer series pack that is in the Celebration catalogue. So I'm using a piece of paper from there, and I have a piece of white cardstock which is 5 1/4 by 4, and that's what we're going to stamp on. And then we'll have a scrap of black and a scrap of white for the sentiment. We might add a little bit of ribbon to this. We might punch out the sentiment a little differently. I have here an oval punch which will punch it out nicely, I think. We'll line it up and see. And I have a doily. I might use a doily, I might use some gold ribbon, I might use some white ribbon. I have both. I haven't quite decided which one I'm going to use yet. We got some gold art ribbon and we got some white taffeta ribbon. So let's get started. First of all, we are going to stamp the flowers on the base. That's this piece on the mat. That's this piece here. And I'm going to use the large flower from the stamp set in the bottom corner, this one. I'm going to use this, and we'll fill it in with this, okay, if we need to, if we want to. We're using Memento black ink. I'm just going to ink this up. And what we did was we just went around the 4 sides. Going this way, and I'll turn it around. Now you can see I've got flowers in all 4 corners, but I've got some huge gaps in there too. We're going to fill those gaps in with another stamp from the same set. And this time we're using this stamp here like this. There. We do this one. There. So we're going to stop there. I'm just going to show you the other two cards so you can see what I mean about how we just progress from one level to the other. So here's the first card that we did. That's your casual stamper. Now you see that card is basically the same as this. The only difference is this was stamped right on the card. This was stamped on a piece that's going to be mounted on something else on the card. If you look at the beginner stamp set, the first one was your casual stamp set. The second one is your beginner stamp set, and if you look, you turn it this way, it's exactly the same. You have your flowers going the same way and everything. This was mounted on a piece of white, black and white paper. All right, see there? Okay, and it's got gems on. So far we've done the same thing for all three cards. I think I'm going to put it on a piece of plain black this time and see what we get. We're going to take the DSP away and we're going to put this on a piece of plain black cardstock. Oops. And my basic card, when it's folded in half, is 5.5 by 4 1/4. So I'm going to make this 4 1/8 so that I just have a very narrow border of white around, and 5 3/8. Use that to mount the sentiment. So this is going to go on here like this, and then we're going to trim this down and put it on here like this. Okay, so we're going to trim this piece that we stamped down to 5 1/4 by 4. There. Let's see what we've got now. Here we have this going on here, very narrow border around the outside. This will go on here like this. You know what I think I will do? I think I will stamp this large flower again. Let me just see. Stamp this large flower again, and there, not really. Give me a second. And then we'll cut it out with using the dies that go with the stamp set. That's a nice stamp, and we will stamp the happy birthday. Okay, we'll bring in a little mini cut and emboss, and because you're using the mini cut and emboss, you need your white plate on the bottom, which is plate number 1, and then you have number 2 plates. So you put the first one, put the white one down, and 1 plate, and then you're going to put your piece of cardstock down and your die. And I still like to use a little bit of washi tape and tape my dies down. Just gives me that little bit extra confidence that they're not going to slip and slide. There. Your next plate goes on the top, and remember, it's best to stagger your plates here when you're putting them into this big cut and emboss machine. And then you're not sort of going over a big lump, if you will, a big bump to get it started. Let me just put this out of the way and I'll show you what I mean. When I put my plates in, I have this one, and then this one with about 1/4 inch, and then this one with about 1/4 inch. So it's like steps, and they go through the cutting machine much easier that way. Because if you had them all level, you're trying to put a good ½ inch to get it started in the rollers, and it's not going to do your rollers any good, but it's also not going to do your boards any good either. Okay, so there, I cut this piece out. So I think what we're going to do, we're going to put these like this, fit. So you see it just fits in there like that. That's that. I'm going to cut a black piece out of the scalloped edge. There. This will go on here like this. Just nicely. Okay. So what are we going to do here? Are we going to use the doily on the back? Do we need the doily on the back? You can't really see the doily on the back. Let's take it out. Let's try ribbon. Got some nice gold ribbon there. I think that looks nice. Okay, so I'm going to cut a piece of ribbon. And I think I'm going to stick this down onto the black, wrap the ribbon around, and then put it on there. There. Yep, that looks good. Now I've got this piece which I cut out, and I'm going to mount that up on some dimensional so that it stands up. But I think I'm going to put the ribbon around here first, then put the sentiment down, and then overlap the sentiment with this. So let's see what we can do here with a piece of ribbon. I think I just want to tie a knot myself. Okay, so I'm going to tie that, turn this way, and I'm pulling it extra tight. You see how I'm working both ends here at the same time, and then I'm pulling that up, and I'm pulling this some more. There, I've got a nice little knot going on there, and I can bend my card if it's not in the right spot. Bend the card and just slide it further to the side there, and then I'm going to pull it up tight, and I'm going to trim it. I think I want it to go that way. There. This piece here, that's a scrap obviously, I think, but this piece here you could use on another card and just wrap it around, tie it in a knot, and you know, stick it on your card. You can just stick it right down with a glue dot onto your card, work your knot so you get it looking nice, pull it up tight, stick it on a glue dot, and it can go on a card. Well, let's glue this to the main card. Let me make sure that's about straight. Yep. I'll put this down on the front of the card. Got about a 1/16 of an inch all the way around. There. Stick the sentiment. Okay, and we've got this flower here which we cut out. So what we're going to do, we're going to put the sentiment here. So we've got some dimensionals here. I'm putting 4 on because I don't want this to fall off. And it's going to sort of overlap the ribbon, so I want a part of each dimensional to stick to the card itself. There. I want to take this flower here and put it up on dimensionals. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to lie it down before I stick it down. Take my pencil and just draw a line along there and there. And I'm just going to take my scissors and trim that off. Extra couple of dimensionals. Now we can hold this edge and we can line it up sort of flower by flower. There, so you got a little bit sticking out, you got a little bit raised, you got happy birthday, and now all we're going to do is put a few gems on there. Let me just use my pick tool here, and it's got sticky on the end. Oops. Let's leave that as it is. We'll put little ones in the center of the little flowers, and then we'll put a little bit of a bigger one in the center of the bigger flowers. So there you are, three levels of stamping, and it all worked lovely. Let me turn the camera up. So there you are, all 3 cards, beautiful cards. As always, if you're gonna, you're free to copy any cards I make, any that I show you. These are all my own designs, so you're free to copy them. If you're going to sell your cards, be sure to put the Stampin' Up angel stamp on, which just says all the supplies used are Stampin' Up. So there's the final finished card, and this one, and this one. Okay, 3 cards. That's it for this week, everybody. Have a lovely week, and I'll talk to you all soon. Bye bye.